Welcome to the Scumtown High Q&A. I'm kind of glad I'm doing it like this. I'm not doing a performative, theatrical, in character kind of thing. I was thinking of that, and then I'm like, nah, let me just sit down, let me talk to you guys, let me chill out. Before I start off, I have to just say it because I've seen the comments that aren't necessarily questions and whatnot, and just praising the film, and dude, thank you guys so much for the support on Scumtown High. All of you guys that bought the uncensored cut on the website, you guys are amazing, and you got to see my ass. So we're boys now, we're tight. Dude, Scumtown High, regardless of the age restriction that was put on it, and then right now it's not making any money. The age restriction was lifted, but it's still not making any money on YouTube because it has limited ads, which means there are no ads on the video. So the only way you can support me is go buy the uncensored cut. And again, like I said, to those of you that have done that, you guys mean everything to me, so thank you so much. And to all of you, you know who you are, that have worked on this project, thank you all for making it happen. It was honestly, it was awesome. I will get into the questions because I don't want to say too much until I start reading questions. But yeah, you guys knowing what I set out and what I wanted to accomplish and then helping me achieve that, the small team that it was, it's like, it was just sick. It was awesome to see it play out. It's awesome to see it finished and on YouTube. And yeah, by the way, I'm sorry I didn't get this Q&A out sooner. I feel like I needed a break from Scumtown High because I've been working on it for however many months. Yeah, I needed a second. And then I'm also filming something, which I'll get to by the end of the video, that's coming out literally in the next couple of days, that I wanted to work on before I even could think again about Scumtown High, because I've been seeing it for so many months now, just filming it, editing it, all that stuff. But yeah, as the intro to this video, just thank you all for watching it and enjoying it, and to those of you who helped create it, thank you dearly. So these aren't questions, but I think this is a good intro because I bring it up for a reason. We gotta talk about Scary Movie. Now listen, I have a lot of things that I want to say about Scary Movie, but I don't think it's the right time to say any of that yet. So I want to give these guys the best release possible, which I believe, yeah, June 5th, Scary Movie drops. Now, as you guys know, horror comedy, that's like my brand. That's my bread and butter back from, I think I started horror comedy in like 2024, like early 2024, maybe I'm wrong, with You're in a Horror Movie with Art the Clown. And that was like huge. Since then, you guys have asked me about Scary Movie, horror comedies, and this and that. I just want to say this. If you are a fan of mine, I need you to buy a ticket, get your ass in a theater seat, and watch the movie. I truly believe Scary Movie is going to be the comeback to big comedies. And I say big because you can only do so much with comedies because people want to silence you and censor you and this and that. I've been dealing with it for 5-6 years. Big studios don't want to take risks on comedies like these in general. And the thing is, a legacy franchise coming back, if received well, we're back. I'm sure you guys know that's my biggest goal, is let's bring comedy back. In a big way. I'm not talking about the niche comedies that you can barely see because of the censorship and because of that. I'm talking comedies that will offend people, rightfully so, because you need to laugh at yourself, you need to laugh at others, and you need to understand that it's all a joke. I do believe the support for Scary Movie will do huge things for comedy in the newer generation and moving on forward. And you guys know, I just want to get the hell off social media platforms that like to censor and manipulate your content and all kinds of shit and bring it to theaters. Basically, that's my Scary Movie rant. Go watch it, and we'll see comedies coming back in a big way. On to the questions. I'll tell you, there was a lot of questions. Listen, I wish I could answer all of them. I think there was 7,000 comments on the Scumtown High, like, YouTube video. I tried. Love from Italy, Jay. Can I ask, what cameras did you use? I filmed Scumtown High 100% on my iPhone 17 Pro Max, which is right in front of me, and that's what I'm filming on right now. My goal in doing that was to first of all, keep it the same way I've been doing it for every video, every skit. I have a tripod, I have an iPhone, that's it. And I said, I'm gonna do this, and I'm gonna do a nice big short film, juicy short film using that. And yeah, it didn't It didn't fail me once. So getting to my goal of that was to show you guys, if you're aspiring content creators, filmmakers, writers, actors, directors, all this stuff, you can use what you have. I know it's cliche, and I know you probably hear it so much. It starts with the writing. It starts with understanding film and the angles, understanding how to direct and film an entire story sequence at the end of the day. You know, do it on a fucking potato. You know, I'm challenging you guys out there, and it was a challenge to myself. I said, if I used any other proper rig for this, I just didn't want to, like, for me, again, like, it was just a challenge. Loved this, thank you. Did you ever get burnt out doing this project, considering you were pretty much the only one working on it? Yes, yes, and yeah. You can understand watching the film how much work that probably took. The preparation, you know, we're talking from script to prep to just actually filming it, and then having mishaps and shit happen during filming, and like, oh no, location shooting, like had to go back, it's just so much shit that went down and happened, but we got it done. And again, any filmmaker knows this, anyone that loves like just making movies or entertainment, we don't get our nut off till the thing's out. So when we bust, it's over the full thing coming out, coming to light. So I'm not worried about, you know, maybe if I had a crew and a cast, it'd be different. We'd have fun on set, this and that. All the one-man show stuff is like, I just want to see the final product. I just want to see it all come to light, where how similar, how can I take the idea in my head and put it on screen and almost like perfectly match that. That's like my satisfaction. But yes, to overall answer your question, holy shit, did I get burnt out on this project? Yes. By the way, will there be a Scumtown High 2? Listen, my brain never stops. So depending on if the money's there and the idea is right and all this stuff, dude, which I already have some cool ideas. But yes, I would hope to make something maybe more serious, like of a film, not just a YouTube film. You know what I mean? But yeah, we will see. How long did it take you to write the script? If I'm being honest, 2 weeks. I know when I started writing, and yeah, I had all the characters in mind because I knew I had a plan. So I had a big thing going on that I want to talk about in the future. And then I had a plan that if like that didn't work out, I thought in my head, I was like, I'm going to take my horror comedy brand and I'm going to merge it with my school characters that I've done. I've done this back since 2022, 2023 for the school stuff. And then the horror stuff went big in like 2024. And I said, I'm going to merge my horror comedy and put it into one, right? So I took my school characters, and I knew I wanted like a Ghostface-esque type killer. And I was like, let's start writing. And I wrote it in 2 weeks. A lot of it too is because I wanted to drop so many Easter eggs in there. I was thinking of doing like a breakdown video of that, but I don't know if I want it. Maybe I will. We'll see. No promises. But if you go back and you watch my skits and you watch Scumtown High, you will see there are a lot of Easter eggs in there. Dialogue from other skits, props from other skits, characters from other skits, like years back. So it was Scumtown High was a fan service for me to you guys. Like anyone new coming in would be like, who the f is this guy and what is he doing? Anyone that knows me knows that like Scumtown High is the ultimate like not fan film, but yes, fan film for you guys. So yeah, 2 weeks to write the script. How long did it take to make the film? Half of September writing it, October getting ready to announce it and getting prepped, November, December filming, January, the whole month, just editing like a psycho. Your acting has gone next level. Thank you, bro. How long did this take for you to edit? So like I said in the last thing, I think January was like peak editing, like all the way up until the beginning of February. So yeah, to answer it one more time, yeah. Writing half of September, prep October, film November, December, editing January, release in February. What were Tyler and Jeffrey shocked about in the yearbook? So it was the yearbook photo, or the sports, like the photo that Quinn holds up of him as a quarterback for the Scumtown Scumbags at the end, like the climax. That was what they saw in the yearbook. And that's why the photo comes up soon after. Q&A. Is the blood real? If it was, I'd be dead. The Scumtown High canon to the Jaydaddy universe. So when I was writing it, I originally thought of it like it could be, but then it's like maybe I want to like bring these characters back, and even if I kill them, they can come back. I don't know yet. If I would be lying if I said I have a definitive answer on that. What I can tell you is my head and what I'm thinking is school characters, leave them for that universe, or that maybe I do spin-offs with them and stuff, but I don't know if I bring them back to my regular videos. We'll see. You're asking if the events of Scumtown High, stay true? I don't know, man. I would love to see Bobby back. Who killed who? Quinn kills Betsy, Jimmy kills the janitor, Bobby kills the principal while Quinn is in the interrogation room. I don't know if you guys caught it, but Bobby is taking an Uber to go kill Coach Barry. Before I finish this is one thing I wanted to talk about. I wish if I was making a full-length movie, like I wish I had more time for like filler events to show you where these characters are in their certain places. Where like, because of the short film and the comedy that it is, it's hard to like, oh, how did Bobby get here? Or how did this one get there? And I wish I had more filler, kind of just something to give you like the idea of where the characters are at given points. You know what I'm saying? Jimmy attacks Melissa and Quinn kills the cameraman, kills the mic guy. Quinn attacks Jimmy. Now, this is why I just brought up the event thing, where it's like, I wish I had more time to like fill in there that you know where Quinn's at a given time, and you know where, so, because it soon happens after he got attacked. So I know it's confusing with that. I wish it was a little less confusing on that. But one thing you could tell, based on Quinn, Bobby, and Jimmy being killers, all of them for different reasons, which I'll get to, Quinn can visibly see, Bobby's blind, so Bobby wouldn't be able to see Jimmy's huge. So yes, Quinn attacks Jimmy, realizes he can't even battle with him. He can't even come close to it, so he dips. Oh, the hospital kill. Okay, Melissa. Quinn, because he was the one seen in the hospital with Brock last, Quinn kills Melissa and he kills the random nurse that's in the background. My vision for it was like, oh, Brock, 1 sec, I gotta go to the bathroom. Brock goes to the car, Quinn, kills Melissa and kills the nurse. Like something like that is playing off in my head when I'm writing it. Yeah, that's it. And then obviously Quinn kills Brock. Yeah, and then at the end, Jimmy kills the Uber driver because he called an Uber to escape. He just killed the Uber driver and then took his car. Wait a minute, if Quinn and the blind kid was planning all of it and Jimmy wasn't part of that plan, why is Jimmy doing this? So Jimmy, when I'm writing it, I'm thinking like, Jimmy's got no motive. He's just out here killing people. He doesn't care. He doesn't have a motive. He's literally, he's going on a retarded rampage. While Quinn and Bobby have like some sort of motive. Quinn being more deeper, and then Bobby being kind of more of like the surprise killer. I wanted it, I'll explain this. I wanted it to be, tell me if it's, maybe it happened this way for you guys. I wanted it to be Quinn. Quinn was like the obvious, like, disappointing killer. Like, you knew he was gonna be the killer. Like, if he's the killer, it's like way too obvious. Like, what the f? And I hate when horror movies do that, right? Like, they'll do like the slasher movies and the main obvious guy ends up being the killer anyway. And I'm kind of like, like whatever. The point of that was to, I wanted it to go in stages where Quinn would have been the most, not disappointing killer, but the most obvious. And maybe you're disappointed when you see him. But the surprise killer is Bobby, so it's like a step up and you're like, oh damn. Then you have Jimmy, and Jimmy's just like, where the f did that come from? You know what I'm saying? So you have like stages to it. I didn't want to give you a crazy surprise and then like, you want to save the best for last. So that was, again, the way I was thinking about it when I'm writing it. What are you going to make next? Because I love you. Thank you. I love you too. And I love your videos. I'll save that for the end of the video. Q&A question. While composing the screenplay, how did you balance / determine pacing between the humor / comedic relief and serious plot progression? By the way, 758 is golden. I have to watch that. Oh, the tits. Yeah. If you watch the uncensored cut, 758 was awesome. I couldn't even tell you. Like, like it just happens. Like when I'm writing it, I'm just thinking like, okay, what has to happen here? How do we progress the story? How do we do this? The goal, at least for me, like in my head, I was like every scene, because I was writing the scenes out, like scene 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, like going down the list. Every scene except for I think 2 being like Melissa and Quinn in the car, and then like, I'm trying to remember another one. Maybe just that scene. Maybe there was another scene without comedy, but like every scene needed something comedic to break any sort of seriousness, to break any of that, the Quinn stuff and all that. So it's hard to say how to balance it. I just knew that I needed to have comedy in every single piece of it, whether it starts the scene with comedy. My goal is like start the scene with comedy, end the scene with comedy, or if you can only get one or the other, start it serious, end it with comedy, or start it with comedy, end it serious. That was in my brain all the time, like as I'm writing it. What's another way to like answer that? Oh, the characters. Like that's why Quinn was in the film. Like Quinn as a character gives a serious nature to the film, and that's the point of it, right? Like every character has comedic relief about them. Like at least I needed someone that would drive the story home, and I feel like that was like Quinn, Melissa, Tyler at some parts, like, just getting serious, like talking about the story with Jeffrey or talking about the plot with Jeffrey. And yeah, but I think that's why Quinn was like my main, like Quinn Calloway was the character that was going to drive the story home, but also have all the comedy around it. And pacing, honestly, like, I don't know. Pacing, if I had more of a budget and I could make it like a full length, like 90-minute movie at least, I feel like the pacing would be better and I'd be worrying about it more. This was more like, how much can I get into this that makes the fans go, holy shit, this is awesome. Q&A question, who is your favorite character you've created in this short film and why? So I'm not gonna just keep it as the short film because I've made these characters in 2022 or 2023, whenever I started like math class. Listen, my top 3 are Peters, Tyler, and Jimmy, not in order. Now the thing is, if I take Peters out of it and go just Tyler and Jimmy, God, it's a hard one. They're both pretty damn even. Now let me explain. Tyler, if I had to make a standalone movie, like a film on said character, I would love to do something with Tyler. Making him my favorite character? Probably. Jimmy I love, but I don't think I could do, like, imagine if I did a 90-minute real movie and it was just Jimmy. First of all, my TMJ and my jaw wouldn't be able to even take that pain. But yeah, other than that, I mean, I love Jimmy. But yeah, I think Tyler I could get a lot out of. And I would love to, like, explore that shit. Here's the real question. Where is Jake and Blake? That's an OG fan. I mean, any of you that have watched, like, the OG math class and all the skits that I've done, following up or leading up to this, Jake and Blake were two of the other classmates. Now, the thing is with Jake and Blake, maybe I'm doing a disservice by saying this to you guys, so I don't mean to hurt any feelings based off the characters, but Blake and Jake were the two that, like, had the least amount of personality to me. So, like, Quinn and Brock replaced that for me. Also, Jeffrey, adding Jeffrey in there, like, I knew that I had to keep the core, like, I guess you could say the core 4. Yeah, Mr. Peters, Betsy, Jimmy, and Tyler. But yeah, they were they dropped out for that year. Yo, Jay, which is your actual TikTok account? Because there's a lot of fake TikTok accounts of you, and I want to follow your real one. At It's Jaydaddy with 5 million followers on TikTok. But I will warn you, I barely post on TikTok. You can go follow it just to follow it. But every time I post, it could have weapons, it could have blood, it could have suggestive nature. TikTok always takes my shit down. And I had a huge TikTok ban in 2022 where I thought my whole career was over because that's all I did was TikTok. And I got the account back and I said, screw TikTok, I'm making YouTube and I'm making Instagram. And so I did Reels. I posted to Reels, TikTok, and YouTube but I made the videos for YouTube and then clipped it for Instagram and TikTok. Oh, and that side tangent, people that think you can funnel millions of followers into YouTube and Instagram and other social media platforms, it is so wrong. You can't. When my TikTok was at 3 million, my YouTube was at 10K, and my Instagram was at like 20K. When I tell you Instagram grew organically, YouTube grew organically, and I think YouTube and Instagram, if anything, funneled each other. So I love that. But yeah, screw TikTok, man. I give no credits to them at this point. That's not to say it's maybe good for someone else. I can understand with my brand and like my comedy. What made you start your comedy career? How do I say this without being like too pretentious? Yeah, like comedy found me in a way where like I wanted to grow up and be an actor, be a writer, be a director, like just make movies. Like that was my biggest thing. To give you guys a little bit of a backstory, my aunt, Gina Mastrogiacomo, was an actress. She played in Goodfellas, Jungle Fever, Naked Gun 2.5. And she was in an episode of Seinfeld. Like she was getting her career going, and she passed away when I was 2 years old. So growing up and hearing about her, oh my God, your aunt was in movies and this and that, and it just got me into the whole like entertainment industry, I guess you could say. To continue the answer, I knew that the industry was literally like gatekeep to all hell. It was a lottery ticket chance to get into, and I said, I'm gonna make my own path, right? So I said, when TikTok blew up, I said, we're gonna switch things up, because TikTok was dancing at the time, a lot of that stuff. And I said, I'm gonna do comedy, like memes and this and that. They were shit. If you remember them and you can comment one of my major characters back in my TikTok days, you are literally, I don't think you can find it because those videos are privated on TikTok and stuff. They're down. If you know the names of my OG characters back in the day, I know how long you have been watching me for. So let's see who can do that. Comedy found me because that was the only thing that would go viral, right? Like I can't make like a drama film, a horror film or drama and like have shit go viral on TikTok. It needed to be like short chunks of humor. So when I got good with it, and like, I feel like I've just evolved with comedy throughout the 6 years, like I haven't, all self-teaching, self-taught editing skills and like self-taught literally everything. But yeah, so comedy goes viral. I was making good videos, they go viral, and I said, I'm gonna keep continuing with comedy. That became my brand. Question, how do you get the inspiration to make this art? You are one of the greatest YouTubers I've seen in 10 years. Thank you so much, man. I just want to know what inspires you. Shout out, please. Project WAR, Y, 1P. Thank you for the question. I should have done that with every other question, I'm sorry. If you're talking comedy, and I'll get into it, comedy being Jim Carrey, Jack Black, Eddie Murphy, Will Ferrell, the Wayans, Seth Rogen and his group, James Franco, Danny McBride, Jonah Hill, Craig Robinson. You got Adam Sandler and his crew with Rob Schneider, David Spade, Kevin James. God, if I'm missing any, who am I missing? Ben Stiller. All those comedy movies in the early 2000s and the 90s, like, that was my inspo for this type of comedy. Adam Devine, Blake Anderson, and Anders Holm in Workaholics. Just like edgy, raunchy comedies from the early 2000s and even the 90s. Leslie Nielsen and like just all that shit, man. If I told you the specific movies, it'd be forever. Tropic Thunder being up there, one of my faves. Did anything cost you money? Yeah. I wrote myself into a freaking scary place, because when I saw the script and I saw how much I needed to prep and how much I needed to do, I was like, holy shit. So yeah, a lot of it just becomes location, a lot of prop. Think of everything you see in that, like every clothing piece, every set piece, other than the studio. The studio had a lot of set pieces. Dude, all of it's freaking money. So yeah, there's a budget behind it, and yeah. And that's why, because I kind of knew YouTube was gonna mess with me, age restriction, limited ads, all that stuff. That's why, you can go support, you buy the uncensored director's cut over at scumtownhigh.com. That would help a lot. I love this so much, it made me laugh and guess at the same time. I just have one question. What song did you use for your credits? Shout out to Jacob Lazat. Jacob Lazat, you go check his channel out, go check his instrumentals and all his songs and stuff out. He has the soundtrack for Scumtown High on there. He's been working with me back and forth for this whole project. I said, who am I going to bring on to do like music? Because I knew I needed like score, right? For like its own original score. What guys think about is when I first used one of his instrumentals, because I knew I needed like a badass like metal track, and I looked that up. There on out, like I think I used him for one more thing, and then I said, dude, can you do Scumtown High? Like, and that's it, you know? He's been awesome. He made sure he nailed every like, he would watch the scene and then make the music, and like it's just so freaking cool to me to have like someone else finally help me in like the creative front, because only so many people can help me with like prep and like just helping me stay sane, right? But like he's literally a part of this as much as me, you know? Thanks to Jacob. Show him a shit ton of love on his channel. And yeah, he's going to be helping me in this next thing that's coming out in a couple of days. You'll hear from that and see from that very soon. Okay, what was the hardest scene for you to record, and how long did it take to finish? Okay, anything with the math class was a fuck ton. Because you got to think, there's 8 characters. Quinn, Bobby, Jeffrey, Brock, Melissa, Tyler, Jimmy, Peters. Not, and sometimes including the sheriff and the cop that come into the math class and whatnot. Blackface coming into the math class. Just anything with the math class scenes, because there was just so many that I had to do all in one scene. So yeah, that's that. And then anything, dude, with the girl stuff and the tits. I gotta wear tits. The mom was different. I'm sitting down most of the time with a chest piece on. I was fine with that. Doing the intro with Betsy for 8 hours on that night, like not taking that thing off, because you don't want to take it off and put it back on. It's a nightmare. So I'm walking around doing stuff with that, dressed as Betsy. And yeah, I just hate doing anything with the girl stuff. Unless I'm like fully prosthetic out and it was like a big, like, I don't know, like I look different than the person. Like something about the wig as a girl and then just putting on tits. Like, listen, it can be funny, but I would like to go, you know, more with it where I don't even look like myself. That's when I would like actually mess with it. Oh, almost forgot. My favorite shot in the whole film is the science shot where it shows all the characters in one in that big masking shot. That was hard. That camera didn't move. I switched into characters throughout that whole thing. That shot in itself maybe took an hour of just like switching into stuff, because you got to remember Tyler has makeup on, and oh, my eyes are gonna look, you know, too smoky and black if I do Tyler first. So Tyler has to be the last guy. Like, so I'm thinking of the order and all the characters and how they have to do it and how they have to stand, and the camera can't move. And holy shit, that was challenging. But we did do it in one try. It took like an hour, but it was scary and hard. Did Whiteface kill the indestructible cameraman? Yeah, because he's Jimmy. I think Jimmy, if anyone's killing the cameraman, it's Jimmy. My question, did you ever get asked any questions when buying props for the film by any of your delivery drivers or anything? Okay, as I'm reading this, I have one video that I'll put up right now.
Hi, how's it going? I need the biggest plug you guys got. Do you guys have a fist arm? Awesome. And then I'm thinking of like beads, and that's it. But I have big beads. Yeah, big ones.
I might have to censor some stuff out. Going into that shop and buying those, I had some fun with it. 2 questions. What other characters were you thinking of adding but in the end didn't make the cut? And then second, favorite line in or cut from the movie? Well, the cut or the frame would be the science. I love that frame. I love that shot. Let's start with the first one. What other characters were you thinking of adding but didn't? Not much. I mean, I had other characters in my skits and stuff that, you know, the Yoda mask, little brother, and like I'm just thinking of like everyone I've done, and like I feel satisfied with who I have in Scumtown High, where like I don't think anyone else needed to really be added. Even the Spanish teacher, like there was no Spanish teacher, but like when I did the Spanish skit, it was almost like an Easter egg to the Spanish skit by just putting like a little Spanish teacher in there, like something like that. I just thought was funny. Yeah, as long as I hit all of like my specific like Jaydaddy Easter eggs for the film, I was like, I'm good. Favorite line. Okay, I'm already thinking of one because I see it every time. For some reason, it gets me dying every time, and I don't know if it gets anyone else dying. And it's so simple. It's it's not even like a huge thing. But something about Tyler, where he's like, why don't you shut the up?
Why do you have Betsy's class schedule?
Why don't you shut the up? You ever thought of shutting the up, dude? Why don't you shut the up? Like that, why don't you shut the up is in the school talent show skit. And then like Jimmy comes in behind him and he's like, yeah, why don't you shut the up? That's like, something about that gets me to laugh like every single time. So that's like a good line for me personally. For Scumtown High specifically, doing the Uber driver was hilarious, awesome. And I was just like trying to, like I'm walking around in that shit for however long. I'm looking in the mirror, I'm taking selfies. Oh, and then I can't lie, doing every single line for the Tourette's character, for Tucker Tourette's. A lot of that's improv. But I think the whole thing is improv. I have like a structured idea in my head, but like all the Tourette's lines are just me thinking like, what's the most like, what do I want to do? What do I want to say right now? What do I want to like tick about? Question, how long has this piece of absolute cinema, thank you, been planned? Was this the plan from the first classroom skits, or is it more towards the math class book? The School of Scum presents math class, vulgar arithmetic for adults. Guys, I haven't pushed this in a bit, but it's crazy that you bring that up because I was thinking about it and I'm like, yeah, I did the classroom skits, 2022, 2023, around there. I still can't remember like the first, what was the year I did my first math class skit? I'll just look it up right now. Yeah, okay, OG math class was October 2023, but I had a school skit back in 2022. I think it's the second, no, it might be the third, something around there, like the third video on YouTube. Could have just checked that as well. Yeah, how teachers really feel about their jobs. That was August 25th, 2022. So that's when I started like, not the ideas for my school stuff, but like I wanted to attack like the whole school thing. The School of Scum presents math class, vulgar arithmetic for adults. Go get this book on Amazon. It's basically 100 up math questions that you could literally write the answers to and basically test yourself on. So yeah, to answer your question, no, it wasn't planned, but I knew that like, I like to look at my skits and think like each like piece of video or piece of content or like a video, they're all in like different universes, right? Like I have my action stuff, I have my comedy stuff. You have the horror stuff, you have the school stuff, you have the action stuff, like each and every, they're kind of in their own little universes, I like to believe. So like when I make an action video, it just helps me create or like work on all the stuff I used to do when I was doing action stuff. Comedy, it makes me focus more on just comedic shit, like jokes and whatnot, and just writing. But yeah, I got offered to make a book and do this, so we made the workbook, and then after this, it was never 100% planned, but I knew I wanted to do something with all of those guys, and that's why, you know, I took my two biggest things, which is horror and comedy from the school stuff, and then merge it together and do like the school characters are in a horror situation, which then in turn makes my own horror comedy. How did you come up with a lot of these characters? If you're talking about back when I first created them, I got no clue, man. I mean, my brain works in some crazy ways. I'll give you some inspo. Jimmy gives me like a Waterboy kind of vibe. Like I love the Waterboy with Adam Sandler. There's so many others, but something about the Waterboy and like the way he runs and the way he sounds with it, like his like, when he gets like aggressive and stuff. It reminds me of like when Adam Sandler would like tackle someone. Betsy's just the school slut. You need a quiet kid. You need a wannabe school. Where'd you get the mask for this? It looks hella scary, man. Blake Knight on Etsy. I want you guys, I got a link for his Etsy shop in the description, as well as I do Jacob for his channel of music. Go check out Blake Knight. If you want the mask that Whiteface uses, go buy some Whiteface masks on Blake Knight's Etsy shop. I don't want to label it as the Whiteface mask, but because he didn't intend for it to be that, but that's the mask Whiteface uses. He does a sick job, multiple masks on his Etsy shop. Crazy artist, insane. Dude, if you decide to make a movie again, you should do an action movie, bro. That would be goated. Perfect segue into the end of this video. Lucky for you, my comeback to standalone sketch videos will be on April 12th If anything changes, go to my Instagram, follow me. All my updates are on my Instagram story. So if anything changes on the release, go to my IG story. So right now, April 12th will be You're in a John Wick movie. We're back doing standalone videos. Just have so many more ideas that are also evolved, and you'll see when that comes out. Every year, every month, every week, every day, we're just evolving as a creator. We're evolving as a filmmaker at the end of the day. We're getting better every day. So can't wait for you guys to see this shit and all the other ideas I have planned for 2026. And yeah, dude, just to give you the fully, what's the word? Almost like an end to a saga. If you want the full saga of the School of Scum, watch the School of Scum compilation, and then at the end of the School of Scum compilation, you'll see that Mr. Peters made a math workbook, which you can go get on Amazon right now and do 100 up questions. Write your reviews on Amazon, I'll see all those. And to finally wrap it all up with the School of Scum, watch Scumtown High if you haven't already. And there you go, that's it. The School of Scum, this is my baby right here, this idea. So, bittersweet to see it all wrap up. You know, I feel like the Q&A is the final segment of Scumtown High, is the final thing. So, you know, let's see. Maybe we'll make a second one. Guys, catch me April 12th for You're in a John Wick movie, and until then, stay creative as